What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new video. Now, today, we are talking about the one, the only, the dickhead, Salt Bae. You might be like, whoa, Kavos, dickhead. Salt Bae was one of the hottest memes of all time. Look, I know, and it's easy to get wrapped up in memes and loving someone just from a little sprinkle, but some pretty crazy shit has gone on behind the scenes to do with Salt Bae, his restaurant. You've seen him all over Instagram. You've seen him cutting up the steaks, the golden steaks. Now you're going to really learn what goes behind a restaurant like this and serving up steaks that cost over $1,000 to buy. I want to do this right, so I looked into Salt Bae in general because no one really knows fucking much about Salt Bae. I wanted to know, first of all, his background, his roots, where he came from, and how he even got into like the restaurant game, the restaurant business. So I found an article online that, you know, explained basically his origin story. I don't know how to say that name. I'm just gonna say Nusret. I've butchered that probably. Rise to Salt Bae stardom began on January 7th, 2017, the day he posted a 37-second video to Instagram titled Ottoman Steak. In the clip, he performs his signature moves, slicing a bone-in steak, ending with his patented sprinkling of salt. According to Bustle, within months of the Twitter universe discovered the video and ran with it, the next day, Bruno Mars tweeted a picture of Salt Bae with the caption, "And I'm out," and a meme was born. Within 48 hours, the post had 2.4 million views, and at the moment, to date, 16.1 million views. And I mean, didn't say it happened in 2017. Like, he has to be easily one of the most lucrative memes. Like, he's made such a big career from this meme. It's fucking insane. And his lifestyle too. So here's a little bit about him. As for the man behind the meme, he was born just outside of Istanbul. His education ended a few years later when he was 5 years old, according to the Wall Street Journey. He grew up son of a miner with 4 siblings. At 13, he began working long hours as an apprentice to a local butcher. He spent the next decade working at Turkish Steakhouse. And in 2010, he opened his first restaurant, the Steakhouse, the famous Steakhouse. I don't know how to pronounce the name, but this report says he has 13 restaurants around the world, from Abu Dhabi to Miami, and over 600 employees. So that's like a brief summary of where Salt Bae came from and how he actually got into making his restaurant off the back of his meme. Interesting, you know? This could be a much more wholesome story. From working in Istanbul, son to a miner, you know, probably didn't have much growing up, to having these insane restaurants all around the world just from this meme and this fame. But that is not the fucking case. Fame and greed have clearly got to him. Talking of fame, he has over 39, I couldn't believe this when I checked this, 39.9 million Instagram followers. That is fucking insane. I had to do a deep dive on his social blade. He gains anywhere from 15 to 30,000 new followers every day without fail. Hundreds of thousands of new followers every week. And this is one of the things I just couldn't wrap my head around, is the lifestyle this guy lives. He doesn't just serve celebrities. Like, he is tight with all these celebrities and huge fucking names. This is him at the Champions League final in 2018. Hanging out with all the players, Zidane, Ramos. Here he is with the PSG crew, Cavani. Like, he's hanging out with all of them as if they're all best mates. I understand celebrity chefs, Gordon Ramsay, but you never see shit like this, like, on their Instagram. Like, the way he interacts with them is some other level. He has had the cream of the crop of A-list celebrities, from Mancini to Bocelli to Canelo, Conor McGregor, Virgil van Dijk, Diego Maradona, Drake, DJ Khaled. Anyone you can name has probably been to Salt Bae's overpriced shitty restaurant because it's overpriced. Literally, it is made for the top 1%. And if you don't know, to get context of how expensive his restaurant is, this headline will make you chuckle. Customers shock over £37,000 bill at Salt Bae's new restaurant. I have no sympathy for anyone who goes to a restaurant and spends 37 grand. Let's have a look at how you can spend 37 grand in one meal. So the golden tomahawk steak, 850 fucking pounds. The fries, 30 pounds, and that's looks like 3 portions, so I guess £10 a portion of fucking fries. A sauteed mushroom is £12. £14 broccoli. Asparagus for £18. God, that asparagus better cure fucking cancer. £12 mashed potato. A baklava, £400. A golden baklava, £200. £11 for a Red Bull. The bottles of wine, 9 grand for a 1 bottle of wine. £19,000 for 2 bottles of wine, and then 2 bottles of Dom Perignon, £1,600. Fucking hell. I have no sympathy. You're ordering the finest wines and the finest drinks at a restaurant like that, guys, where he's charging you fucking £18 for asparagus. And yeah, you're gonna get fucking screwed over. All this restaurant is overpriced shit. And that is why it's attracting rich people, because it takes a certain level of income to dine there comfortably. That's why people like it. But the craziest fucking thing is, and the worst thing by far, is that he is getting sued left, right, and center for all these awful things, the way he's treating employees. And his business is overall apparently an awful business to work for. So make sure you stay tuned right now. We're going to go over all this shit. Would not have expected it, because it's just Salt Bae, right? He just makes fun videos and cuts expensive gold steaks. Nah. So, time to get on with all these lawsuits and the fucking shit that Salt Bae has been doing behind the scenes. He's a Weasley little fucker, and you're going to see it. Let's start, because I have so many to choose from. Let's start with him, and you'll notice a pattern of getting sued a lot. Getting sued for stealing art and using it in like commercial and his business on salt shakers and wipes. Like, let's have a look. Salt Bae just got slapped with a $5 million lawsuit. It involves wet wipes. Salt Bae is getting sued again. The controversial chef, whose signature tableside move is sprinkling salt onto pricey steak, was just slammed with a $5 million lawsuit. In the suit filed Tuesday, an artist claims that the Turkish restaurateur is using his art without his say-so. In court documents, William Hicks says Bae hired him. Bae. His last name is Bae. Bae hired him and another artist pal back in 2017 to paint a portrait of him. For artwork first appear in his steakhouse in Brickell and later various other locations including Dubai. But Hicks learned last year that he was allowing the image to be used at his restaurants around the world unauthorized. The suit says the internet star put images on menus, takeout bags, on a line of seasonings, and even wet wipes. The defendants were engaging in widespread unauthorized distribution and use of the original works in, among other places. And here is the Instagram post from said artist. Yesterday, KG Firm filed on my behalf a lawsuit against a short, hairy-armed man known as Salt Bae. A few years back, me and Joe were commissioned to paint one-of-a-kind painting for their high-end steakhouse in New York. First commission turned into a second commission for the Miami location, then later another for Doha. Each commission came with a signed contract dictating the terms of the usage, where it would be located, what it would be used for, who retained the copyright. It's us. None of that mattered to Salt Bae, who proceeded to use the image that Joe and I created for everything from other locations to wet nap packets to an entire line of salt and spice products and the branding for a new low-class Salt Bae burger restaurant. I guess I can't be too surprised that the vertically challenged aspiring chef wouldn't be able to see eye to eye with the law. After all, we're talking about a place that sells a $1,000 24-karat gold tomahawk steak that tastes like dog's raw hide. And here you can actually see the work that was stolen and they commissioned him for. So it's a picture, it's a portrait of Salt Bae. See him on the salt shakers, multiple ones of them, selling them different bits of merchandise and products, screwing over smaller artists who have the copyright to this portrait. Here it is again in the restaurant, if true, which it seems likely, and you'll see with the other things we bring up, but it seems more likely. That is extremely fucked up. You can't be screwing people over you've commissioned and selling products using that when it wasn't contractually obligated or in the contract and they own the copyright to it. You're just stealing their art at that point. Let's move on to the next, shall we? Salt Bae's Dallas Steakhouse is already embroiled in legal drama and it isn't even open yet. Even though the doors haven't opened yet, social media star Salt Bae's restaurant Steakhouse is already embroiled in legal and financial drama. In the lawsuit filed in Dallas County District Court on Thursday, construction company Beng, Texas, alleges that he owes more than $933,000 in unpaid bills due to both Beng, Texas, and to its subcontractors for construction on the restaurant at 1900 Pearl Street in downtown Dallas. Apparently, Salt Bae has failed to pay for everything from the installation of the kitchens, refrigerators, to the custom-cut ceiling tiles in the restaurant's dining room. Speaking with Eater on Wednesday, Beng says that payments on the project started to slow down as COVID-19 crisis intensified. We prefer to be paid $200,000 at a time, he says, and they were sending $25,000. But yeah, along the lines of, what happened with the artists, allegedly they haven't paid contractors. Don't worry, it keeps on going. It just doesn't stop with Salt Bae. The lawsuits keep on coming. This time, he was forced to pay out. Salt Bae forced to pay $230,000 to ex-waiters for conning them out of tips and firing them when they complained. Salt Bae has been forced to pay ex-staff members $230,000 after being accused of conning them out of tips and firing when they complained. The chef turned internet star reportedly kept his servers in the dark about how much they collected in gratuity payments and retained them for himself. The $230,000 settlement is said to cover expenses from the point when the 4 employees were terminated up until the agreement was finalized. It is not the first time he has had trouble with his employees either, as he's also been accused of threatening a former staff member and not paying overtime, which we'll go into after this. And it seems that the troubled track record with his staff could be ruining his reputation, as after putting an open call out to waiters for his London restaurant, 0 people turned up to hand in their resume. I'm telling you, and keep watching because you're going to see the whole picture. No one would want to work at this fucking shitty restaurant. Treats their employees awfully, stealing tips even though you're selling steaks for $1,000. Whatever could be next? How about Salt Bae's £1,450 estate Knightsbridge restaurant criticised for paying chefs £12 an hour. Salt Bae has been criticised after it emerged as restaurant in Knightsbridge is hiring chefs for £12 an hour. He's selling steaks for £1,400 fucking pounds. And he's paying chefs £12 an hour. How much work? I'm going to check this out now. How much work does a chef in Salt Bae's restaurant have to do to afford one of his steaks? 1,475 divided by £12 an hour. They have to work 122 hours in order to afford a steak that they are cooking for people. Holy fuck, man. That is so fucked up. Absolute greed. It continues saying, as part of his recruitment drive, Celebrity Hotspot is currently hiring line cooks for £12 to £13 an hour, plus tips, apparently. Well, I don't think you'll be getting the fucking tips. And if you complain, you're going to be getting the sack. Goes on to say, the news left a sour taste in the mouths of some people who criticised Instagram star Salt Bae on Twitter. One wrote, absolutely disgraceful and disgusting. He charges £800 for a steak, yet offers £12 an hour wages. Do some calculations. Either they work a mad amount of hours or it isn't enough to live on in London. Others pointed out that the hourly wage is the same price as the mashed potatoes on his menu. Oh my god, it is. Wait. That's so fucking funny. Where is the £12 mashed potatoes? Might as well just hand the chefs big lumps of mashed potato every hour. Same value, apparently. No, £12 an hour. These chefs are getting paid that. Some of the people who work for Salt Bae aren't even getting paid what they're owed. Salt Bae Steakhouse chain, home of a $275 Wagyu tomahawk, sued for unpaid overtime pay by grill men. Oh, Bae, here we go again. I love how every article is like, here we go again. Salt Bae's getting sued. Tell me something I don't know. Pricey Steakhouse chain was hit with a lawsuit Tuesday accusing the company of shorting 5 grill men out of many hours of overtime pay after getting them to move to Turkey to work. The Manhattan federal court suit says Salt Bae misclassified the men as managers to avoid paying them legally required overtime pay while requiring them to work 70 hours or more per week. The suit was filed by Louis Penchman, a New York labor lawyer who in 2019 won a $230K settlement for 4 waiters who said they were fired in a location after questioning how tips were divided. We just talked about that case. This guy's making bank of Salt Bae. He's rubbing his hands together, thinking, when's Salt Bae gonna mess up next? I could sue him again. The agreement to pay the waiters came right before a scheduled trial. Yeah. Unfortunately, paying kitchen workers on a salary so they are cheated out of overtime pay is a common practice in many restaurants, Petchman told CNBC after filing the lawsuit for the grillers against Salt Bae. Their suit says that all 5 men worked for the chain until the last 2 weeks of July. All of them are Turkish citizens recruited by defendants to relocate to the United States to work at defendants' internationally renowned restaurants as grillers, the suit says. After arriving in the US, the suit says the men were assigned to work grueling hours in non-managerial positions at the restaurant, despite being classified by the chain as exempt workers who were paid a flat salary. So-called non-exempt workers, such as cooks, are entitled to overtime pay equal to 1.5 times their hourly wage after working 40 hours in a single week. The suit says that the most any of the men were paid was a weekly salary of $1,125. The complaint says the men regularly worked at least 72 hours per week but were denied overtime compensation as well as spread of hours pay on days when their shifts spanned over 10 hours. Restaurant workers are entitled to 1 extra hour of pay if their work on a single day exceeds 10 hours. When Salt Bae was present at restaurants, he personally supervised their work. He had an aggressive managerial style, frequently cursing at plaintiffs and blaming them for employees' mistakes. The lawsuit also says, although each of the men regularly worked 12-hour shifts, when Salt Bae was present at the restaurant, both Salt Bae and the restaurant managers instructed plaintiffs to work additional hours because the boss was present. I mean, yeah, you get the picture of that already. Overtime pay, shady dealings behind the scenes with Salt Bae, making them work hours that aren't being compensated at all, which is so messed up. So you got some chefs only getting paid £12 an hour, some grillers aren't getting paid or compensated what they're owed. Just to top it off, there's a whole thing. Salt Bae slammed by staff as Golden State Cellar workers say they aren't respected and restaurants are ruled by fear. Sounds similar to the article we just read, where Salt Bae had the aggressive managerial style, people working extra because the boss is present. This is great. Millionaire steak legend Salt Bae has been savaged by his own staff. Now workers have taken to respected job site Glassdoor to rate their time toiling under Salt Bae. Many have given him a grilling. The firm has a 2.6 out of 5 rating, and only 35% of workers said they would recommend working for Salt Bae. One wrote last month, managers are disorganized and don't respect you. HR basically works under the managers. They overbook too much and it gets too hectic / overwhelming that customers and employees quit like flies. Would-be workers said seems to be very disorganized. They seem to have problems with scheduling of interviews. They lack professional courtesy in regards to following up with potential candidates. After reviewing positions on Glassdoor, this might be a company you want to pass on. Another person added, not enough hours, passive aggressive clients, ruled by fear, company doesn't care about employees. Yeah, we've gathered that. We don't have to even read these. The company clearly does not give a shit about their employees. Now, most of these complaints, to be honest, aren't even they're kind of standard for the hospitality industry anyway in general. But after all we've read, everything we've seen now, it's clear this is a very poorly run operation. Employees are treated like shit, underpaid, contractors not getting paid, art being stolen and used to sell commercial products and in the restaurant, conning employees out of tips and firing them when they complain. Even reports of sex discrimination, where this employee said when Salt Bae came to Miami and worked at the restaurant, Compare was frequently forced to give up her diner shifts and work the lunch shift so she would not be seen by Salt Bae. Or Compare was forced to give up her server shifts altogether and was made to work as a cocktail waitress in order to hide the fact she was a server. When Compare worked lunch shifts as a server or worked as a cocktail waitress, she earned considerably less money, which she alleged this decision was based upon her sex. It's just an absolute fucking shambles, to be honest. This whole operation, Salt Bae seems like a massive fucking prick. It's so funny. Salt Bae lives this fascinating lifestyle from meme to dream, like I said, to obscene. An absolute bellend, really, behind the scenes. Has no respect for people, thinks he's a fucking godfather when all he's famous for is fucking bit of that. I hope people see this video. Please share this video now. Share it to everyone. Tell people about Salt Bae. Not enough people know. And as a special treat, if this video reaches 15,000 likes, which is ambitious, I think, I will visit and document and record my time in Salt Bae's restaurant in Knightsbridge. I will go myself. Try the food. Who knows, maybe Salt Bae will be waiting for me. But yeah, let me know what you think down below. Comment your opinions right now. I want everyone to talk about this. So comment below. Have a discussion. The comments really help the algorithm too, engagement. So make sure you leave a comment right now. Even if you're shocked, if you enjoyed the video, like the video again, like I said. Could be going to Salt Bae's restaurant. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new. Every subscription really counts. Really helps the channel out. Please make sure you do hit the notification bell. Uploads have been super frequent. I'm banging them out and I'm really enjoying my time on YouTube at the moment. So make sure you're following the channel, enjoying and keeping up to date with everything. And yeah, my socials are down below. Follow them, my Instagram, my Twitter. Hit me up. If you enjoyed the video, tweet out the video. It really helps out. Tag me in it. I'll make sure to like and retweet. And yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, fuck off.